think the relevancy of film in the industry today as compared to video could be equated to the relevancy of studying a society's history in comparison to the current modern day events associated with that society.
As a teaching tool, what filmmaking does for you, what actually shooting celluloid, cutting celluloid, paying for celluloid, what that does for you is it gives you a discipline. People who start in video, especially people who start shooting video before they start learning how to shoot video, people who do it on their own, tend to turn the camera on, start rolling, and just see what happens. And they end up with tons and tons and tons of, for lack of a better word, crap.
In September of 1993, I actually began my production career right here in this studio, in Studio B of Production Masters Incorporated. Back then, I was working with directors Zoot Dwyer and Ken Brown. They were training me, and we did a number of things.
Yeah, I mean, film look software tends to do what it can do, which is to recreate the artifacts of film. So you put fake scratches on, you put fake grain in. But it can't do what film does, which is to capture a really wide range of contrasts, to have very deep shadows that still have detail in them, and to create what most people consider to be the most realistic color palette. It tends to be more desaturated, it tends to be more pastel, it tends to be more lifelike. If video could do all those things, or if a film look could do all those things, then it would be film. They wouldn't have to shoot film ever anymore. But it can't. It just can't.
Zoot and Ken essentially taught me the ins and outs of production. And actually there was another guy, Ben Mesker, who taught me the names of the various pieces of equipment, the 2Ks, the 1Ks, the kickers, you know, stingers, C-stands, things like that. But I learned from Zoot how to really manage and direct on a set, because I got an opportunity to be on the set of various commercials, whether it was local production companies, not local production companies, but whether or not it was local commercials or Kaufman's, or and I got a considerable amount of experience working on Shop and Save commercials with Kathy Seviller.
So I do think there is value to understanding film techniques, the whole concept of developing images through emulsion and chemical reactions to film, which goes to focal lengths and grain structures and colorimetry and numerous things that if you don't have a good handle on that understanding, then you have a tough time applying some of those same techniques to video.
What we're going to do, we're going to read through the script in its entirety. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're not going to get into intense intense discussion because that could probably go for a long time. We're going to read through it, and from there we're going to work out some organizational things about people to contact for certain things, the beginning of shooting and when to expect the shooting schedules and things like that. And then this also is a time to raise any questions that you might have regarding the production or regarding other things.
I don't know about my character. She like, I mean, would you say she's sort of like tough, or is she just sort of like, you know, passive? Or, I mean, I know it's pretty much, you can't really tell me I need to like, you know, work and like build it up, but I don't really know. I mean, from the reading, I mean, she has sense, but I don't know what you're.
That's a good question. Can anyone answer that? What do you think, Leslie? And we can go to DJ next.
Go ahead, you gotta tell everybody who you are. Come on, DJ, sit up and tell everybody. Just tell me your name and what grade you're in.
My name is Joe and I'm in second grade.
They can't hear you with your face in it.
My name is Joe and I'm in second grade.
And who are you gonna be playing?
I'm going to play Tristan South.
Hi, I'm Tracy Reed, and I'll be designing or working with costumes.
My name is Paul Weissel. I'm going to help Greg out do some behind-the-scenes filming.
Hi, my name is Solomon. I guess I'll be playing Jasmine.
My name is Howard and I'll be playing Trace from New York.
My name is Leslie Johnson. I'm playing the character Jade.
I'm Lamar Rucker. I'm the older Matt.
And I'm the oldest Matt. Leo Baby.
Sage Berlin, I'm playing Riley.
Don Marshall, I'm playing Roscoe.
Rich Bannerwall, I'm playing Sterling, young Sterling.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Vernello.
And George.
And I'll be the youngest Matt.
All right, that's everybody. And just for the record, you're not playing the oldest Matt.
We just worked that out.
And there's no Roscoe either. But anyway.
The key to a good student film is really the key to any good film. It's the story and the subject matter.
As a student filmmaker, if you want to make a film and your interest is in storytelling, and you don't have a strong interest in the technical side, then don't waste your time trying to understand the entire film process. Use the technology that will help you communicate your story. If you are someone who wants to direct and be the cinematographer, take the time to understand how film works, how the cameras works, the entire process. My viewpoint may be in the minority, but I feel that if you don't have an interest in the technology, don't get caught in trying to understand it, because all it's going to do is slow down the process that you are going to undertake to communicate your story and get your story on some medium. We all call it film.
Filmmakers, because they can't just, unless they're super rich, they can't just turn on the camera and let it run and run and run. They have to know what they're going to get beforehand, because you can't see what's on the film till it comes back. You have to pre-visualize. That imposes a level of discipline in terms of storyboarding, in terms of in terms of storyboarding, in terms of pre-visualization, in terms of technical attention. It enforces a discipline that when you carry that over to video, makes the video better, because you are now coming up, essentially you're coming up with the story, coming up with the images before you shoot them. Too many people who start in video start by shooting and then try to figure out what they meant to do afterwards.
You can never do enough pre-production. Just planning what can happen, getting yourself prepared for that, and think from the camera all the way down to parking at a location. Critical sometimes. You're in these tight little spaces. Your crew's all spread up all over creation. Your truck can't get in the park. People are pushing cameras and lighting stuff 2 blocks to the plate. Nobody wants to do that, especially if they're doing the film for free for you. If you take care of them, they'll take care of you.
Students have a tendency to make films based on films they've seen, which doesn't usually work because a lot of times the films they've seen are big budget feature films. They're making short films with really small budgets, and so the focus has to be really different. In a feature film, you can spend 10 minutes doing the credit sequence and then start the movie. The student film, you have to establish your characters, you have to get the story started right out of the gate because you don't have that much time.
You can have great ideas, but they become very complex when you have to execute them. One example, we have twin brothers in a film played by the same character who happen to also be the director. Very difficult to execute. We had a hard time pulling this off, and it's a fight scene. And time goes by. Incredibly complicated. Yes, we pulled it off, but it became a real problem for us on location and everything we did.
One of the weird sort of strange things you do as a student or low-budget filmmaker is you train the images in your head to be images that you can actually get. So if all of your film ideas involve, you know, thousands of guys on horses riding through monsters or whatever, you put that aside for later, and you start to think about, you start to, you know, explore your world and look around and see what you have available in terms of visually interesting locations, in terms of characters where 1 or 2 characters can carry a story instead of multiple.
Aggressive scheduling on the first day or 2 is the biggest problem that filmmakers have. They want to do too much in the first day. This is the day that you bring all your people together. The expectation is very high. What you want to do is, at the end of that day, have a successful process. How do you do that? You schedule light on the first day, so everybody gets to know everybody else. Even though you may have a family, when it gets on the set, people are real territorial. You have a lot of energy. You have to get out. You're trying to orchestrate all of these people. It's hot. There's no drinks. Your actors came late. The camera has a problem. You're really having a problem with blocking. Actors are blowing lines. You're running late now. It's noon and lunch didn't show up. There'll be 1,000 things that come get you. It's just part of the process. If you don't have an aggressive day, you can get through it all. And when you call wrap at the end of that day, people are going to want to come back tomorrow. If you burn them out, you push them 12, 14 hours, and they get the sense that you're not organized, they're not going to want to come back. And that spreads through your community. Next time you want to do a project, no one's going to want to work for you.
What makes a video or a film work for me, for a student, is a certain freshness of presentation. They don't stick with the cliches either in plotting and character or with presentation. They tend to have some difference. You know, the editing pace is a counterpoint instead of, you know, lockstep. The music is used really effectively. They don't rely on characters speaking dialogue in front of the camera, but they actually find a way to say things more efficiently visually. And they come up with different twists. They, you know, the best ones, because you have a certain expectation when you watch a student film, the best ones suck you in, and you go, oh, he's going to wake up and it's all a dream, but they do something else. And that sort of freshness and originality is really what separates it out.
Almost 36 weeks pregnant and getting close to the end and feeling lots of pressure and anxiety about being a parent of 2. And my husband's still in school and very busy guy.
No, scheduling is what we need to really do after we read the script and finalize it. We can't really do scheduling until we talk to we can prepare a schedule, so that it'll be ready for the production meeting with the cast. But that's what today is gonna set up for. I'm gonna give you the script and then we can work it out.
Makes movies on the side and has a business that he started, and I work full time and we have a 2-year-old. So it's an interesting time. It's definitely probably going to be one of the most challenging things I think I'm going to go through, because I can't plan. I don't know when the baby's going to be early on time or late. I don't know if it's going to be a convenient time when Greg's just happens to be on break from school, or if the baby will be late and he'll already be back at school, or if it'll be like Christmas Day and everybody's going to be too busy with their own Christmas plans and family plans to be around to help out. But it's scary too, because there's just a lot of unknowns, and it just can be a really hectic time, and I'm not really sure how available Greg's going to be, because he's such a busy guy, and he wants to start making this new movie starting I think in December, and especially while he has time off. But that's kind of when I think I'm going to need him the most.
Our class.